Okay, so this is AutoCAD by Landrug. Description, basically just learning how to use AutoCAD and make a 3D house in AutoCAD. Project plan, build a house. Alright, so making a house in AutoCAD. Here's my house. And this is just in 2D wireframe, which is what you build it in using lines and extruding the lines, everything like that. And then once you get to realistic, then you got what your house really looks like in realistic. And when you move it, it moves it away. But this is kind of what your house looks like. And you got your windows, you can see your little tail back there. You got your door with the door handle. As you can see, look at that. That's a nice door handle, isn't it? Anyways, so that's a house in AutoCAD. And basically you build the house and you start with the line tool. What I really like about AutoCAD is down here in type of command, if you want the line tool, you type in line or LIN and hit enter, and there's your line tool. Another thing that's great about AutoCAD, that has this ortho mode right here. And right now, like, I can't make diagonal lines. It only do 90 degrees. But if I take that off, then it's all over the place. When you have that on, that makes it really nice, because I can only make straight lines. And in building a house, you want straight lines. And let's say I want this line to be 50. Well, that's the thing about AutoCAD, is AutoCAD doesn't have a specific measurement with it. You can change it in the settings, but you just type in 50 and it's just 50 units. It's not just, it's only in feet, it's only in meters. You can change what you want for, different countries, different projects. If I'm were to build a case or something in here, I wouldn't want it in feet because that'd be way too big. But a house, you want it in feet or yards or a bunch of different stuff. You can have it anyway. So if I just want this, let's just say it's 15, just type in 15, enter, and it'll make your line 15. And then once it makes that line, it continues to go. So let's make a square, just 15, enter, over here 15, enter, and then here, this snap thing, which is right here, if you have that on object snap, you will click and it will snap right on there, so it's right on the vertex of that line, so it makes a perfect square. And then once you're done drawing your square, you just hit escape and you're done. Now when you look at it, you're like, that's just a flat square. How'd you get a house after that? Well, that's where extruding comes in really handy. You just extrude, EXT, and then, so you have this line, but let's say you want to extrude this whole thing, you just click all four, or what you can do is you can click that and it selects all of them. Then once you select all the ones you want, you hit enter, and look at that. And let's say I just want it 15 tall. Enter, there it's 15 tall. And you're done. That's the basis of building this house, was drawing your shapes, extruding them. Most of the time you have a square or a rectangle. That was pretty much it. So if we want to make the walls like here on this house, to make every wall the same thickness, same units between, you have to use the tool offset, and you can offset it, let's say 4 units. and so it's going to be 4 units all the way around. But if you have like this, so on this square we have this line, you'd have to offset it 4, do this one, offset it 4, this one, offset it 4, this one, offset it 4. To make this all one line, you just select all of them, join, and now it's one line. Now what you do is you use offset, you select which point, which line, you hit enter. Then let's type in a unit. Now let's select our line, sorry. Then type in the unit 4, enter, and that's going to be offset 4. Then, if you go to extrude, enter, you got this line, you got this line, you hit enter. Whoa! Now, that looks like your wall, but if you go to realistic, it's filled in. You know, here's the box and here's the outside box. Well, in the house, you don't have that. Go back to 2D wireframe. Okay, so we have that problem that this middle's filled in. So now what we're going to use is we're going to use the subtract tool, and we're going to select this first one, hit enter, then select this one, hit enter. Now, you see this command went away. Now when we go to realistic, you have your hole. Now and that's pretty much the basics of how you build a house. You use all of the extruding, offset, use, like for these windows, use the offset to make the frame. Extruding, use extruding a lot, and otherwise it's just rectangles, drawn lines, and you just build your house from the ground up. And that's AutoCAD. That's how you 3D build in AutoCAD. And you can do a bunch of different more stuff, a lot more details. I just had these 4 chairs in here. This one's a little to the right. And another cool thing is that AutoCAD has is, here's this line. We can go over here where we can type in dimension, and we're going to select this point to this point, and we drag up. Once you have your unit selected, it will show up there, and it'll tell you, hey, this is 14 feet. So you can print blueprints from here, you know, and you can basically build a house in here, print it with all the dimensions and everything, and you can go build this house if I had all the dimensions, and if it was actually separate and not everything was together, because that'd be hard to put the dimensions on. But that's a 3D house in AutoCAD. It's really cool how, you know, it says 2D wireframe, but you're in 3D, and then it's cool to watch, you know, you're in 2D wireframe, and then you go to realistic, and it's like, that's cool. I mean, see the change from 2D to 3D. You can also change the colors of the block, so you know you can make it a blue house, red house, green house. There's a lot of things you can do in AutoCAD. You could build the house that you live in with all the different furniture if you had the time and really wanted to, and made everything the color it was, and make a realistic house in AutoCAD. You know, if you got multiple stories, it'd be harder, but if you got a 1-story house, that'd be kind of cool to do. And that's pretty much AutoCAD. You know, it's a lot of lines to make up a house and extruding, but it really turns out looking like a house. Overview, I think it would be cool to make your own house. AutoCAD has its own tutorials, and I wouldn't suggest following those, because they really don't, they're like, here's this tool, but it doesn't tell you how to use it. It's like, this tool does this, but it doesn't give you an application of like, when like extrude. It might tell me how to extrude, but it's like, it only shows you how to extrude the one shape, not like extruding a wall that you have to cut out, and it really doesn't put all the tools together to show you how to make it. So I go on YouTube. That's for this house. I found a great tutorial that helped me. Having more time, add a little more detail, maybe, you know, walls inside where you can see here's the bathroom, here's the bedroom. That'd be kind of cool. There's just so much stuff you can do with AutoCAD, and I mean, the more stuff you do, the more time it's going to take, and 4 weeks, sometimes you just can't get everything done, and that is AutoCAD.